to another episode of Cupid Parasite, where we're on Ryuki's route and we're romancing Cupid. I love him so much, he's so cute. A few days later, I was back at the Cupid Corp office looking at my phone. Specifically, I was doing my daily #Cupid check. Let's see what people are talking about today. There we go. Chi? Look at Chi! I need a Chi plushie, y'all. I need a Chi plushie in my life. Chi floated up to my shoulder and took a peek at my phone. He seemed to enjoy helping me browse through my go-to social media source. I met some through Cupid Corp, and we went to the movies together and had so much fun. #Cupid. Cupid Corp seems better than all those other, but I still haven't found someone. Getting married is such a pain. #Cupid. The hashtag let me see how people were feeling about us, but then a certain post caught my attention. Just announced a bridal collection. I don't care what it takes. I will be wearing that at my wedding. #Cupid. 570 likes. Dang, that's a lot of likes. Huh? A bridal collection? I thought they said they wouldn't announce a bridal collection, like, ever. I checked the post, which had a link to the official Kaisi website. From the center of the announcement, they be offering a line of bridal clothes, and they even had a picture of a row of tuxedos. Oh, snap. The fan's gonna be super excited about that one.
Up next is fashion news.
Ooh.
Keisai Inn presented its first bridal collection, and it's a big topic on social media. Raoul Aikonet was appointed as the model, and expectations of future collections are building up.
That's exciting for Raoul. Raoul? As I said, Raoul. Raoul! You're kidding me. Even after showing her my tuxedo design, grandmother said she had no interest in entering the bridal market. Oh no! My poor baby! No! So that's how bad my designs were. I need to become a designer that she can be proud of. Oh no! He has such bad performance anxiety. I feel for him, dude. Like, he feels so pressured because of, like, his family name and such, like, that he has to live up. Does that mean my sister was right? That I really need to get married, but I think you just need experience. Experience doesn't equal marriage. And marriage doesn't equal experience. As I got off the train and headed for the office, I couldn't stop thinking about Cousin's plan to release bridal clothes. I'm sure Bob has already heard the good news, but I should probably shoot him an email just in case. Yeah, he'll be super, super excited. But as it turned out, I wouldn't need to do anything. Bob was standing right there waiting for me. Ah, there you are! Did you hear? Cousin is gonna release a line of tuxedos. Yeah, I saw it on the news. I'm so happy for you. Looks like you can have that Kaizen tuxedo for your wedding after all. Right? I looked it up and it seems like they're going to release right around the time we wanted to have the ceremony. I've already started talking to Jessie about what kind of color and style I should get. You have no idea how happy I am right now. I knew there was a god out there somewhere looking after us. Thank you, Cupid. I didn't actually do anything. Cheese? Anyway, we have another meeting with the wedding planner, so I'd better get going. Bob practically skipped his way into Cupid Corp. After saying goodbye, I headed to my desk. Aww. He's so happy! A Carson tuxedo. I checked in with the clothing department, and they were already working on getting direct access to the brand. Bob will probably just buy his own, but if we can add the Kaisen brand in our lineup, I'm sure they'll bring in more members. It's one more option to help grooms figure out exactly what they want from their wedding. It's very empowering. Once again, the power of the gods is completely unnecessary for people to fall in love and find happiness. A joyous wedding can come to fruition just by having humans who are willing to help and support each other. And that's one thing God can't do from so far away. Which is why I need to keep working hard, so that the dad will finally see things my way. I got right back to work trying to make as many new couples as possible so that I could earn my promotion and prove my point. I feel like Ryuki's gonna show up. I do want to bring people together, but... With the Parasite 5 gone, Catherine was back to working with me, but now she was just staring at me with a smile on her face. So, how about this one? I don't think so. I want someone with bulging muscles and a great big beard. Muscles and a beard, huh? Then how about this guy? I showed her one member after another, but each time she simply hummed to herself. Well, he's mostly my type, but he also reminds me of someone I absolutely loathe, so I'm not too hot on him. Why do I feel like this is our aunt? Someone she loathes? So, even though she likes how he looks, going out with him might remind her of someone she dated before. This isn't going to be easy. It doesn't help that I have no way of telling what she's thinking with those giant sunglasses on. But of course, it wasn't my place to ask her to take them off. I want someone who's happy to walk around outside with his top off, you know? Someone who wears his muscles like clothes. I don't think you're gonna find anyone quite like that, but okay. Muscles like clothes. There was this one actor in Paris that has that mostly fit the bill, but what was his name again? Are you talking about Rural? Yeah, him! His muscles are pretty nice, but I want even more. I want the true of a manly... Oh wow, epitome of a manly arm. I wonder if any of our members are actual bodybuilders. Well, we're having a matchmaking party tomorrow. Why don't you sign up for that? It's being sponsored by a local fitness club, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of guys that suit your fancy. That sounds fun. Sure, sign me up. Great. Let's just add you to the list. Fantastic. Phew. You worked so hard for me. You're a real lifesaver, you know that? I'm counting on you, my dear Cupid. Catherine gazed at me happily once again, but her staring through those sunglasses of hers just put me more on edge. Is there something on my face? Trying to ignore this strange sensation, I went on inputting Catherine's info into my laptop. I've never had a member show so much interest in me before, so it's kind of a strange sensation. She just thinks they're cute. After a very long day, I was finally able to clock out. As I was leaving the office, I noticed Ryuki peeking into the clothing store on the first floor. Ryuki? He spun towards my voice and immediately looked uncomfortable seeing me there. Oh, it's you. Well, yeah, I work here. Were you looking at our selection of dresses? I just happened to be passing by. That's all. I wonder if he came here after seeing the news about Kaisen's bridal collection. Seeing him there like that, it made me wonder if he really did have an interest in getting married after all. If the way he expresses that is through dresses and tuxedos, that's fine. It might be just the catalyst he needs, in fact. Oh, I'm gonna click save. Go on. Go on. Head inside and look around.
Huh?
What? But You can only see so much from here, right? You've never actually been inside, have you? Well... He still looks pretty hesitant. Well, it is a dress store after all. Women and couples were the only people likely to stop by. It would be pretty odd for a guy to visit by himself. Ryuki specifically invited me to that yoga event because he didn't want to go alone, too. For someone who has no problem telling others what he's thinking at all, he's actually pretty shy. Since I'm an advisor here, if I go in with you, then you can spend as long as you want inside. Sound good? Ryuki was silent. After several moments, he finally nodded in agreement. So far, so good! Oh, pretty. Huh? Ryuki looked around the boutique with obvious interest. So you don't just sell wedding dresses here? I see other types of dresses and even makeup. That's right! Lots of members are busy with work, so they like to stop by here right before our events get ready. Next to our wedding selection, we've got matching party dresses and an entire corner dedicated to makeup and accessories. Since so many members come here directly from work, we make it as easy as possible for them to come here, get ready, and go. Ryuki looked over the dresses. then made his way over to the tuxedo section. He took his time looking over the selection, probably because his experience was entirely in men's clothing. Who made this tuxedo? The way each segment joins together is actually pretty good. And it's layered? And the pattern's not bad. Of course, you'd have to have pretty much a perfect body to look good in it. What? Shrill pants for tuxedo? Who the heck came up with that? Must be a pretty techy designer. He kept mumbling to himself as he looked around, his eyes glittering with passion. I like that he's so passionate. It's so wholesome, y'all. Like, he really loves his work. And you can tell. Sorry, moving on. I smiled at his infectious enthusiasm. He may get irritated easily, but when it comes to fashion, his devotion is obvious. So, I'm sure that the only reason he came here in the first place is because he saw the news. Oh yeah, most definitely. Anyway, I doubt Kirsten will ask for this tuxedo. My grandmother told me she's not interested in the bridal market, and now she suddenly is. That's gotta, like, man, I just wanna hug him. He says that, but the fact that Kirsten did announce their intent to release a bridal collection, which is exactly why Ryuki is here right now. Ryuki and his grandma, I really can't tell if they get along or not. It's clear that she takes up a lot of space in his mind, so I can't help but be curious about it. It must be hard for her to live a normal life as a world-famous designer, too. As I pondered Ryuki's situation, he stopped taking notes and let out a long sigh. Thank you, I've got all I need. I'll be going now. Okay, feel free to stop by again anytime. Right. On another topic. Ryuki looked straight at me. He then stuttered over, stood directly in front of me, and looked down at me. Is something wrong? Is this the kind of thing you normally wear to work? Yes, it is. Why do you ask? Your makeup doesn't match at all. Did you even look at the color balance when you brought it? What? Seriously? Your skin isn't terrible, but the color is just unforgivable. At least you're using the eyeshadow I got for you, right? Actually, I am. I really like it, so... I didn't want the makeup you brought for me before to go to waste, so I've been trying to put it to good use. Then are you just stupid? You need to understand exactly what matches best with the clothes you're planning to wear. He just called me stupid. As desperation settled over me, Ryuki quickly turned towards the makeup selection. Come with me. This means... It was almost like that date we went on before. As expected, before I could say anything, he quickly scooped up some makeup and pointed to his seat in the corner. Sit down. I love him. Okay, thank you. As soon as I sat down, Ryuki removed the makeup I was wearing and rubbed down my face with lotion he just bought. This feels nice. I couldn't hide my smile as the lotion slowly went to work on my tired skin. I heard an annoyed sigh above me. Stop smiling. Oh, sorry. Just hold still, alright? He gently massaged my skin, then applied some lip balm. Next, he moved on to applying the makeup. His fingers caressed the counters of my face. He took a bit of makeup in his pinky and applied it carefully, then used a small spatula to remove the excess bit. I definitely wouldn't be able to do something like this to myself. I decided he must be a professional level makeup artist too. Ryuki, do you do this kind of thing for other people a lot? Almost never. Oh, we're special! We're special, guys! Huh? Really? I do manage the makeup for Ryuki models, but for the most part, I bring in a proper makeup artist to do the actual work. So it's rare for you to do makeup for women like this? To be honest, you're the only woman I've ever done the makeup for. Actually, after all, I never work with female models. And despite that, he can do makeup this well without breaking a sweat. It must come from his obsession with colors and shapes. Even without direct experience, he must see my face as a canvas that he can shape and color according to his vision. Well then, thank you for making an exception for me. I just did it because I didn't want someone I know to look so off. He's just as rude as ever, but him calling me someone he knows makes up for it, I guess. So you'd say I'm an acquaintance then, right? I recall him saying something about someone needing to be D rank before he'd even consider them an actual acquaintance. Last time he said I was barely 55, and it was only borderline acceptable for him to even work with me. Which means I'm getting better. Ryuki looked at me nonchalantly, but I was sure he noticed that my eyes were wide with glee. I told you how to take care of your skin and hair during Parasite House. Obviously, you listened, which is why you look better now. I'll take that as a compliment. Seriously, stop smiling. There's still room for improvement with a little bit of effort on your part. Right. So, if I work just a little harder, he might actually consider me his friend. That's easier said than done, of course, since his standards are so insanely high. This is true. His standards are really, really high. He's still cute, though. Of course! Why would I ever want to have anything unattractive in my sight? Oof. That's the exact attitude I was never able to get rid of during Parasite House. I was hoping maybe he'd change a little bit, at least, but then again, that's the exact same attitude that helped him become such an amazing designer. Still, I'm Cupid, so all I really want is for him to find true love. Does he really not have anyone else in his life that he likes enough to do their makeup? He said he doesn't want someone he knows to look off and that I'm the only girl who's their makeup for. Which would mean he doesn't know anyone else who thinks he's worthy of having him do their makeup. So, either he just doesn't know any other women, or none of the women he knows meet his signet requirements. I wonder if there are any really beautiful women in his life. That one employee at his store was a guy, so my Cupidly curiosity was getting the better of me. I had to know more about the other people in his life. Ryuki? Stay still, I need to do your lips next. He took hold of my chin to keep my face still, then swiped a thin brush across my lips. His serious face and stern eyes made me let out a sigh of envy. Ryuki's skin is so beautiful. It's to be expected from the glamour Parasite. He holds himself to the same high standards. This color is the best match for you. Make sure you use this lip gloss from now on. It makes you look a lot cuter. Yeah, guys, he called us cute. He said we look cuter with this on. Like, I'm so happy. This is so much fun. There we go. I'm back to normal. What is Shy? Did Shy get turned on? No, okay. Huh? Did he just say cuter? That word made me gasp a bit and hold my breath. I never expected to hear that word from him. Come to think of it, I don't think Ryuki has ever given me any kind of direct compliment about my lips before. All he ever says is what I can do to look better, or I just need to take better care of myself. Like how I need moisturizing spray, or need to improve my hair and skin. Sure, the way he talks and acts can be pretty mean, and as his advisor, I've had to speak up about it more than once. But his sense of beauty really is remarkable, so he's simply unable to accept others who aren't living up to their potential. Of course, the way he expresses himself is so rough, I'm sure it's hard for other people to see his point of view. Well, I was lost and thought Ryuki had stepped back from me. He looked over my face carefully, then nodded in satisfaction. There, all done. I'd say you're a teeny bit better off than before. Thank you, Ryuki. This is how you should look before leaving the house every day. He took all the makeup he'd brought and put everything into a paper bag. Oh, here, let me... Just take it. You don't owe me anything. But all that stuff wasn't cheap. After all, you did come to do yoga with me today, and you did plenty for me before that, too. Oh, he's blushing! Ryuki mumbled with a hint of embarrassment in his voice as he handed me the bag. What I'm trying to say is, you've helped me more than enough already, so here, and thank you. Ryuki saying thank you, showing appreciation for my help. I was so happy I couldn't stop myself from taking the bag from him. Well, if you say so, thank you, Ryuki. Forget it, I just did it because I couldn't stand how you looked. I'm sure. He really is strict when it comes to his looks. I think he's embarrassed. I'm sure the world is filled with things he hates looking at. I wonder how he keeps from going crazy. Oh, right, I guess that's why he says he refuses to acknowledge anything that doesn't meet his standards. At first, I thought that was a horrible thing to say, but obviously he can't go around putting makeup on everyone he sees. I wonder what the world must look like through his eyes. I pondered that a bit as he left the boutique. I hoped that one day maybe I could imagine such a thing. But then, as soon as we were outside, Ryuki froze. What is that? I looked at Ryuki and saw him staring at the entrance of Cupid Corp. His face was twisted with disgust. Over there, that hazy image, what is that? Huh? I glanced to where he was pointing and then quickly pushed his hand down. He was pointing at the Cupid Corp member who was arriving for their matchmaking party. Shh! Those are our clients! What? Those are your clients? Even 888E7E? There? I took out my phone to see what color it was. It was listed as a tea leaf mouse. A kind of grayish pale green color? Yeah, that's a client too. How in the world could anyone expect to find a partner looking like that? They really need to take better care of themselves. Ryuki, you need to be quiet. As this all this marriage counseling stuff really is nonsense after all. I think I ever even considered it. I'm leaving. Ryuki let out an exasperated sigh before storming off, which just left me standing there alone with a bag of makeup in my hands. That is so something he would do, though! I sure hope none of our clients heard his outburst. I still looked back at the entrance, but when I saw that nobody was looking in my direction, I let out a sigh of relief. I can't believe he just tore into them like that. Of course, what he said was harsh, but I had to admit that he had a point. Couples at these parties of ours did tend to form up in general orders of attractiveness. None of them were as strict as Ryuki, but it's true that it's easier to find a partner if you take care of yourself. Most people in Lost Ark have a good sense of fashion, but a lot of people aren't used to keeping up with the latest trends, or just don't care in the first place. Okay, keeping up with the latest trend would get expensive, though. I do have a bit of experience with that as an advisor, but I've never really had to give advice on that kind of thing specifically. I'm more focused on helping people understand how to change their attitude and perspective, making them broaden their horizons. If I could also give them professional advice on their appearance, I'd be the best Cupid Corp advisor for sure. I looked at my new bag of makeup and Ryuki's face reappeared in my mind. That settles it. I should come up with a new dating plan that specifically incorporates fashion. I may not be an expert, but plenty of other people are. All I have to do is hire one and put on a seminar. I'm sure some of my clients would love to become more familiar with the world of fashion too. This will help lots of people find their perfect partner. I'm sure of it. Okay, no time like the present to get started. I decided to write up a plan as soon as I got home. I rushed back, delighted with the wonderful idea I'd just come up with. Oh wait, I didn't get to, okay. And so, a few days later, I went back to Ryuki's store with a gift in hand. Ooh. So, what do you say? Will you join my next marriage seminar as a fashion advisor? Please? Why me? Because I don't know anyone with a better sense of aesthetic than you. I'm sure you can offer the best advice possible. Okay, you know what? That's really cute though that she came to him because of what he knows. When you told me you couldn't believe how our members presented themselves, it inspired me to come up with this plan. But I can't easily tell the good from the bad, so I can't advise my clients properly when it comes to their appearance. You, however, definitely can, so I'm sure you'd be a huge help to everyone. Of course, I'm sure that'll include his usual collection of scathing comments. So, will you? I handed him my presentation and request form and carefully studied his face for a reaction. The project has already been greenlit, and all of that's left is to find the perfect guest speaker, so... Ryuki looked over the documentation I'd handed him. I see you're holding a seminar at Cupid Corp, so I guess it'll be similar to the ones I was a part of. Yep. That's right, you remember the classes we had with Miss Tina, right? To be honest, I never really agreed with the things she was trying to teach us. So, frankly, I have serious doubts about the seminar of yours. Do you really think this can change how people see things? Oh, well, I think that really depends on the person. But I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who just don't know much about fashion and don't even really know where to start. For people like that, all they need is a catalyst that can get them more interested in fashion and their own appearance. And you're telling me you actually want to deal with people like that on purpose? Well, if they decide to focus on their fashion, I'm sure they'll start dressing better and gain some self-confidence. And if that helps Ryuki learn how to get along with others better, well, that won't be so bad. That's not part of the official agenda, of course. It's just a secret plan I came up with as my role as Cupid. So, would you please at least consider it? You could think of it as a collaboration opportunity for Ryuki, even though Ryuki doesn't have any kind of wedding wear. But this is mostly to teach people how to dress to help them meet people, or what to wear on dates. Ryuki looked over the papers again, then looked down at the floor. My grandmother did decide to enter the wedding market, and my sister keeps telling me how I need to spend more time around other people. So fine, I'll do it. Ha! I didn't actually think he would agree. Really? It's always good to expand your professional sphere, especially if I really want to become the best designer possible. Just keep in mind, I won't sugarcoat the truth. Don't blame me if your clients don't like what I have to say. I'll handle any situation that might pop up in that regard. I may not know fashion, but when it comes to customer complaints, that's one thing I can handle. And having someone who can offer specific fashion and color advice is the most important thing, so it's worth the risk. So, welcome aboard. Great, just let me know when you get all the details sorted out. Absolutely. Alright, I managed to convince Ryuki to take the gig. Now all I had to do was finalize the date and start spreading the word to all of our members. Let's do this! Let's go! A few days later, the Married to Fashion seminar was finally about to begin. Thank you all for taking part in this brand new seminar. I'll be your host, one of the Cupid Corporation's bridal advisors, Katybug. Afterwards, we'll be running a sale on a number of Ryuki's outfits, as well as several evening outfits from our very own boutique. Attendance isn't mandatory, but we're eager to prepare a perfect matching outfit that brings out the brilliance within you. Ryuki is a men's-only fashion line, so that's mainly for guys in attendance. But please stop in for this once-in-a-lifetime event. Now then, please welcome Mr. Kisani. I keep changing how I say his last name, it's not on purpose. My name is Ryuki. And I'm the designer behind the Ryuki brand. Relax, that sour face is yours. He's literally looking down on the clients as if they're scum. Oh no. Maybe we could get a word from you on the basics of fashion? First of all, each person has a certain color that matches them best. So let's go over the basics of finding those colors. MatPat actually did a theory on this one. It's really good. I watched it. I really enjoyed it. Ryuki drew a diagram and projected it on the screen. First of all, colors have hues, and on top of these hues there are saturation and value hues as well. As long as you keep that in mind, it becomes perfectly simple to tell which color matches you and which ones don't. Each person's skin is different, as well as their hair, eyes, and lips. Everyone has a different color that suits their needs. Now I'll go around and examine each person to tell you what your unique color palette is. Be sure to remember what I tell you. It would also be great if you all lost a bit of weight, but I suppose that's too much to ask, so I'll keep things simple. I'll also tell you what style suits you, and how to choose the right size. That way, even people like you can have a bit of fashion. Ryuki's cold, judging eyes and harsh language were clearly striking fear into the hearts of the attendees. The speaker is kinda scary, isn't he? Jeez, yeah. I feel like he's gonna rip me apart. Maybe I should just leave. Ah, crap. Wow, what an offer. If you want to a salon for this kind of advice, it'd be as expensive as a full set of new cosmetics. Huh? Really? Absolutely, and you're looking at a true master of beauty. Kind sir, I'm simply blown away by your generous offer. Actually, he gave me a fashion tip just the other day. True, he was a little harsh, but now I love going outside in the morning. It's not every day you get an honest opinion from a true fashion expert. I mean, nobody ever says what they really think, do they? I hope you can take this opportunity to learn everything you can about fashion and apply it to your own life. I hope everyone can just bear with us. I'm doing my best to word things so that they'll actually want to stick around. She's got a point. I don't want to mix things up when it's time to strut my stuff. People have told me I'm kind of bland before. His words might sting, but maybe it's worth it in the long run. Everyone seemed willing to stick with the program. Nobody got up to leave, and I breathed a sigh of relief. Now then, we don't have much time, so let me get into a bit more detail about color selection. Ryuki started going over the basics of choosing colors and tips on picking out clothes that accentuate their silhouettes. He covered different styles of pants and skirts and even touched on straight-leg jeans versus skinny jeans. His comments were still pretty harsh, but everyone just kept on listening with their full attention. After a while, the seminar came to an end. And that's all I have for you today. I trust you'll remember everything I said. Thank you! Ryuki's eyes were widened in surprise at the round of applause that greeted him. But he quickly composed himself and turned his gaze away from the crowd. Thank you, Ryuki. Next up, we're going to conduct a quick fashion check in the room next door. Please feel free to join us if you're interested, and either way, thank you so much for joining us tonight. As the seminar drew to a close, everyone started to stand up from their seats. You want to check it out? Sure, might as well, but they say Ryuki only makes men's clothes, right? I'd love to see what they do for us women. Yeah, I hope that they can recommend another brand that has some nice options. Excuse me, sorry. Ryuki's clothes. I wonder if I can really pull them off, but it's worth checking out, I guess. As they talked and mingled, people slowly started heading to the next room. Everyone looked happy, like they'd been led into the light. Apparently, they all had a newfound interest in finding their style. Oh, good! Thank goodness. The seminar was a complete success. I let out a sigh of relief and turned to Ryuki. Thank you so much, Ryuki. I think that seminar was a huge help. Think nothing of it. I only told them the obvious truth, and if a few of them pick up a few Ryuki pieces, that's fine too. Ryuki was mumbling awkwardly. Apparently, he couldn't bring himself to say out loud that he wanted to promote his brand. Aww! You did spend lots of time and effort coming up with your designs. I'd love it if everyone brought something from you. But that was up to the sales staff in the next room over. As I moved towards the door to take a peek, I noticed someone walking towards me. Oh, Melanie, I'm so glad you came today. Yes, it was very interesting seminar. Very educational. Thank you so much, Mr. Ryuki. Mr. Kiyosan? 47858C. Well, what is it this time? I quickly checked my phone and found out the color was called Mazit. Pretty bland. Ryuki gave me a look that made it clear he had no desire to speak to Melanie. But she was still standing in front of us. Clutching her notebook tightly, she took another step forward. So, could you please teach me more about clothes and fashion? I believe I said everything that needed saying already? Maybe, but I'm still not exactly sure where to go from here. You're not sure? What makes you say that? Because I feel like my problems are a little deeper than what you covered today. Ryuki nodded as if he understood exactly what she meant. Pretty rude, to be honest. You do seem to be the definition of bland. Even Natto ranks higher than you. Natto? Natto Huck's color is C71585, which the saturation is 89%. Very comforting. Meanwhile, you are 47585C. Oh, wow. So, what you're saying is that I'm less interesting than a bowl of natto. I'm not talking about the color of the beans themselves. What I mean is that your color is lower than natto. Huh? Would you mind explaining that a little more? Melanie was obviously totally confused. She kept looking back and forth from me to Ryuki, completely lost. Well, you see, Ryuki can actually see the colors of people, things, even words. So, that clearly didn't help. I struggled to come up with a good explanation, and Melanie was getting more anxious for a second. She looked at Ryuki. Then what can I do to become better than Natto? Huh? I really want to learn more, not just about fashion in general, but also what stores I should shop at myself. Have you seriously gone your whole life without learning something as simple as that? Well, yeah, so, what should I do first? I don't believe this. Why do I have to? Mr. King, remember, this is all part of the job, so please? I put my hands together, practically praying for him to help. He just sighed heavily, then stared coldly at Melanie. I'm only going to say this once. First, go to the hair salon. Okay. Melanie quickly jotted down Riku's suggestion. He continued. But not some cheap $10 6th Avenue dump. Go to the salon somewhere on 9th Ave. Spend at least $100. Get in it styled properly. You'll look better with shorter bangs. And your hair is too long and back. So get that shortened up. Do I really have to cut my bangs? Of course. We have to see your eyes. Next, buy the best shampoo and conditioner the salon offers. And start using them every day. I don't think you need to wash your hair and condition it every day. I think I, on average, wash my hair like every 3 days, depending. Sometimes it's every 2 days because washing your hair too much will get rid of the natural oils, which can cause more breakage. I mean, I'm no expert, but that's what I found for my own personal hair. But I also have curly hair, so you know. Next, buy the entire Dior on-stage lotion set and buy their facial pack too. Okay. After that, next comes the makeup. This is the pain. Just go anywhere in Plum Square and pick a color you like. Don't give up! You're basically a lost cause. I doubt you'll get past the first step. Just ask someone about their makeup, but nothing cheap. Okay! Wow, you're just laying into this poor girl. But I shouldn't be laughing! Because this is mean, but like, also I find it kind of humorous because he is trying his best to help. However, like, I don't know why I find this funny. Maybe because I'm uncomfortable. Spend at least $500 on a new outfit. And have the staff there find you a matching bag and shoes. $500? I have no idea fashion was so expensive. What? Of course it is. Frankly, what I'm suggesting is bare minimum of proper fashion. Rah. Not everyone has that kind of money. But I guess they're in Los York, which I guess it's equivalent to New York, and New York's cheap, so... If you really wanted to commit to style, you'd be dropping at least 10 grand. That's the going rate for fashion. No. What? That's as much as the down payment on a house! No! But hey, feel free to ignore my advice. You said you wanted to learn, so I told you what I know. The rest is up to you. And if you're not willing to change anything at this point, then at least you know exactly how much you're worth. Fashion is only worth as much as the person. I can't force you. But don't expect me to acknowledge someone at your level. Acknowledge? Your rate about a 30 in my book. Frankly, I don't even want you in my line of sight, let alone having to actually work with you. So that should tell you exactly where you stand with me at the moment. Oh, okay. Hearing Ryuki's harsh words, tears began to well up in Melanie's eyes. But she managed to keep the tears from falling and bowed towards me and Ryuki. I think I know what to do now. I'll be sure to do everything you told me. Thank you again. Don't you think you could have worded that a little better? I told you I wouldn't hold back, and I'm not fielding complaints at the moment either. With that, Ryuki packed up his things and left the room. Ugh, he's gone. His words were as harsh as ever, and yet I'm kind of excited to be picking out a new outfit. I never thought I'd find something that really works for me, but this one might just do the trick. I glanced into the other room and saw everyone mingling and trying on different clothes. Passion really does wonders for a person's mood. It can even affect how they talk to people around them. This is true. A good mood leads to confidence, which can lead to positive action. Outward appearance can affect someone on the inside too. Ryuki made them so scared earlier, but he's also responsible for the smiles they're all wearing now. Since Ryuki was too honest with them before about what they should look for, it's also a lot easier for them to find something nice now. Fashion is certainly a hard concept to master, but I'm sure it's also a lot of fun to try. I just hope it helps them find their soulmate out there in the real world, and I hope Melanie isn't too down on herself now. As I watched people picking out their clothes, I thought about when the best time to check in on her would be. Yeah, I'll probably follow up with her. A few days later, with the seminar in the history books, I was using my day off to do some shopping for myself. I like her hair in that style. It's so cute. My own unique color. As I was looking in a display window, I noticed my own face reflected in the glass. I guess I've always picked out my clothes on a whim. I never thought to wear something that matches my hair or eyes. With this new perspective, I noticed things I never would have noticed before. Huh? My phone chimed at me. I pulled it out and saw Ryuki's name on the display. I need some help with something. His message was brief and to the point. So he needs help with something again? I replied and let him know that I was free at the moment. He quickly messaged back with a link. I tapped the link and it took me to the website of a calf. I had to assume that's where he wanted to meet. I wonder what he wants. I'm wondering if it had something to do with the seminar. I headed in the direction of the calf. Once I arrived, I saw Ryuki sitting inside, sipping his cup of tea. Sorry to keep you waiting. I sat down and ordered a cup of coffee. Once it arrived, I turned my attention towards him. So, what can I do for you? Uh-oh. He's not happy with something, I think. He wasn't looking at me in the face, which was unusual for him. Take a look at these. He handed me a pile of papers. They were filled with sketches of different skirts and dresses. Ryuki, you drew all of these? The clothes those women at the seminar were wearing were so droll and dull. It inspired me to come up with a woman's line of clothes. But I've only ever designed for men up until now, so I'm not sure if these are any good or not, so... Say no more. But are you sure you don't mind me taking a look? You're basically the only girl I know. Huh, really? I'd always assumed he must have at least a few cute female friends. Well, I know a few through work, but it's hard to ask them without it sounding like a professional favor. Outside of the fashion industry, you're pretty much the only person I can go to. I see. That's actually kind of flattering to hear. It's like some kind of mythical beast finally deciding to let me feed it. It was hard to imagine Ryuki ever asking anyone for help with his lofty views and perfectionist nature. But here we are asking me. That alone was enough to make me want to help him as much as I could. Well, if you really don't mind... Wow! You've got so many different designs here. There really was a huge variety, from the fairly conventional to the truly extraordinary. I looked through the papers when a certain design caught my attention. I think you'd care more about my honest opinion. Let's try it. Oh, this one is really cute. I love the little flowers embroidered along the sleeves. Seriously? He looked at me doubtful, apparently wondering if I was trying to be nice. Yeah, seriously, the design is simple but nice. I think any girl would be happy to wear this on a date. I nodded eagerly and Ryuki responded with a shy grin. I see, I actually like this one too. Oh, I was so nervous that I didn't get that one right. I was inspired by traditional kimono design, with their broad sash. I love kimonos. Ryuki started gushing happily describing his work, totally unlike his usual judgmental self. I've never seen him smile quite like this. I was reminded again how much he loves clothing. I just smiled and looked at him as he talked. He must have noticed because he suddenly snapped out of his enthusiastic monologue. Well, anyway, this is just an initial design. I still need to make a pattern out of it. So, what about the others? I think he would make his future wife her wedding dress, and it would be so wholesome and cute. I need this in my life. Let's see, this shirt caught my attention too. The buttons are so big, it's really cute. Huh, that one, huh? And how about this one? It feels a little too fancy for me. I can't imagine adding something like that to my everyday wardrobe. Interesting, that's a good point. You probably couldn't handle something like this. Well, I'm just a simple commoner, after all. But actually, I designed all of these with the idea that they could be worn by most people, so your opinion really helps. Aww! Wow, is he actually praising me? I suppose I should have been happy to hear that, but it probably would have been better if he had just said thank you. I've been thinking about this since the seminar, but is it really that hard for people to go out and find the right clothes? Yeah, I think so. I mean, you need to know what to ask for, and some clothes aren't exactly cheap. It's fun to go shopping, of course, but you also have to try everything on, which can be sort of a pain in the butt. Huh? Why do you have to try it on? Why? Because not everyone has the natural skills or instincts that you do. Like, something might look great on a mannequin, but when you try it on, it doesn't look the same on at all. And sometimes I'll buy a skirt or something, but then when I get home I realize it doesn't match anything else in my wardrobe. There's no denying that I had my fair share of problems when I first arrived in the human realm. At first, Gil picked out my clothes for me, but then Clarice vetoed that and started taking me shopping herself. She dragged me all over, and I'd try on all different kinds of clothes to help me figure out what I wanted to wear. It takes a lot of courage for someone who doesn't know much about fashion to go out and buy new clothes. I guess I never thought about that. Plenty of members don't really care about clothes, but then they'll come to me and tell me how they don't have anything to wear. Well, naturally, I have no intention of pursuing the business of people on such a pathetic level. Right, sorry. Ryuki is not about cheap fabrics or sloppy designs. But I do want people to wear my creation, so I'll do what I can to make sure they appeal to a good number of people. Ryuki wrote a few notes regarding what we talked about directly into his design. Then he gathered them all up and put them back in his backpack. Apparently, he heard everything he needed to. Thank you, I think I know where to go from here. Happy to help. Really? Well, I hope I was able to help somehow. Indeed you did, and I hope you'll be willing to help me again if needed. Of course. Sure, you can count on me. I nodded at him again, and he let out a small sigh of relief. He relaxed his shoulders and took another sip of his tea. I realized I was sharing a drink with Ryuki, something I honestly hadn't thought would happen again. But I have to admit, I'm pretty happy he actually trusts me so much. Earning that kind of trust feels really nice, especially coming from someone like Ryuki. I took a sip of coffee as I thought about whether we might be able to become actual friends someday. I think you're gonna be more than friends. I love his house! Look at that! Look at his... Look at this! Oh! I actually love it. I especially like all the flowers. The color pattern off to the left could probably go. But like overall, I love this. I think the only thing I would change is like the paneling on the wall, which is a door. So I don't think you could change it if it's a sliding door or something. If it's just a wall, I'd probably paint it black. But this is so nice. Look at his house. Look at his freaking living room. What if he has a dog bowl? Is sitting as a pet? I've been working on my new women's design since the second I got home. Maybe an A-line would work here. Oh, but wait, that wouldn't work with the original concept at all. Oh, it's already midnight. I'd better get to sleep, or my skin will pay the price tomorrow. but just a little bit more. I really want to get this shape figured out before morning. Even if the rest of the world is asleep, I need to do my best. I need to build up my name and become a proper designer. My baby needs a hug! Everyone got their eyes on me. They all see me as my grandmother's grandson, so I need to prove myself as a genius. Suddenly I heard a voice in my head. Those same words that I heard back in Japan, and again here in Los York, my grandmother's grandson. Oh no. Hey, look, isn't the grandson of Nier, Ryuki? You know, the famous Cupid designer? All through fashion school, I knew people were talking about me behind my back. I heard he can perfectly grasp any color just by looking at it, and refuses to even look at anyone that doesn't meet his standards. Really? Wow, I guess that's what comes from being the grandson. I wonder what it's like being a genius like that. I heard his sister is really something too. I saw one of her fashion shows once, and it was absolutely incredible. Oh yeah, she went here too, didn't she? I heard she won first place in every single contest here at the school. But didn't she end up becoming a makeup artist? Sounds like a waste to me, but I guess geniuses just think differently. Oh, I wish I was part of the Kusen family. I could achieve anything without any effort. If only I had the talent. Oh, but they put in so much effort. Easily winning first place. A natural genius. Nor Kusen's grandson. Both in Japan and Los York, everyone has always seen me the same way, and I never made an effort to contradict them. I've always wanted to prove that I was a genius to keep that image. But I'm no genius, not even close. My grandmother and my sister, they're the real geniuses. So if a total fraud like me wants to actually earn such a title, I need to put in the necessary effort. And if that means I have to work without sleeping, so be it. No, baby, you need to take care of your health! My effort so far hasn't been enough. I'm constantly impatient, and the pain and the suffering is very real. I'm still nowhere near my grandmother's, or my mother's, or my sister's, I'm assuming Heen's level. I need to become a proper genius as soon as I can. Because if I can't, how can I ever forgive myself? For what? Forgive yourself for what? 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 I know we'll learn. I feel so bad for him. The 10 articles... Oh. Once again, I was back at Cupid Corp headquarters, staring at our matchmaking system screen. Miss Carter and Mr. Jones and Miss Junkie seemed like a good match for Mr. Anderson. Oh wait, the first time I met with Mr. Jones, he was extremely shy, so that might not be a good fit. I was scrolling back and forth through our members list, reviewing their profiles and looking for a perfect Cupid match. There we go. Now I just need to send out an email with the results so that our next get together. Chi was sleeping on my lap, but he suddenly stirred and poked his head above my desk. At that same moment, an email popped into my inbox. Huh? What the? Is it Ryuki? Oh, it's from Melanie. She said she wanted to see me today, right away, in fact, so I quickly stood up from my desk. I rushed to the meeting room, wondering what could be so urgent, but as it turned out, so, how do I look? As soon as I saw her, I gasped out loud. It was immediately obvious that she had changed, and for the better. Wow, you're so cute! You cut your hair, didn't you? Just amazing. Really? Definitely, I can see your eyes clearly now. You seem a lot more inviting than before. I'm glad to hear that. Melanie placed her hands on her chest as if comforting herself with her relief. I was so nervous I wasn't sure if this was actually a good look for me. I wanted to stop by before I saw anyone else so that I could get your opinion first. Sorry for taking up your time. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm thrilled that I was the first one you wanted to see. That new hairstyle frankly looks stunning on you. You have nothing to worry about, trust me. Thank you so much. Suddenly, Melanie's smile disappeared. What's wrong? Well, I'm not 100% on the outfit. I've never worn anything with these types of colors before. If I'm being honest, I have to admit that it doesn't look exactly right on her. Her dress is cute though, but I felt like it didn't pair with her tights, and shoes. Of course, that was just my opinion. So I was wondering, would that fashion instructor be able to take a look to see around? Instructor? Oh, you mean Mr. Kyson. Yes, of course. If he's too busy, Melanie looked at me with fear in her eyes. She didn't want him to tear her apart, but she still wanted to know the truth. I think she deserves nothing but praise for being able to change so much, but if he did rip her apart like before, I could see her retreating back into herself and never changing again. As an advisor, I just want to build up her confidence, so she's willing to put herself out there more. So having Ryuki go full blast on her might be a little too much. He could kill any desire she might have to change. After thinking about it for a bit, I took out my phone. Do you mind if I take a picture? He's a very busy person, so I'm not sure if he'll be free anytime soon, but I can still ask him. Thank you so very much! Oh, that's actually really clever of her to take a picture. Melanie nodded and breathed a sigh of relief. I had her pose and snapped a few quick photos. That wasn't very quick. I got one from the front, one from the side, and one from the behind. I tried to get as many angles and distances as possible. Okay, that should do the trick. It might take a while, but I'll let you know as soon as I get his feedback. Okay, thank you so again. Melanie took my hand in hers and gave me an also almost pleading look. She just couldn't stop staring at me with those puppy dog eyes. And with her bangs cut shorter, I could see that expression better than ever. If she can just get the encouragement she needs, I'm sure Melanie's search for love will be a success. She hasn't attended any of our parties because she doesn't have the confidence in herself. I've taken her to sit and talk at the nearby cafe several times, but she always just sits there in silence. Looking good on the outside is important, but if you want to find true love, you need to believe in who you are on the inside too. Which is why I need her to gain all the confidence that she can. If Ryuki can take a look at her photos and give useful feedback, I'm sure that'll help her to be even better. I decided I may as well message him right then and see what he thought of the pictures. Melanie and I had been hanging out making small talk for a while at this point. But Ryuki still hadn't responded. After several days, he finally responded with a list of dates and times along with an attached map. Is he taking her shopping? That should be Apollo. Not Apollo. Maybe? I guess this is where he wants to meet. I followed the map directions which led me to a giant mansion. I had to assume it must be Ryuki's house. I was worried he might want me to join him for another yoga session. Chi? She had joined me too, which was rare for him. We both looked at the house and tilted our heads in confusion. I had no clue what he might have planned. I had just picked one of those dates he'd sent, and he replied back that he'd be waiting. Either way, at least this would give me the chance to show him the photos I took of Melanie. Standing in front of the doorbell, I felt myself getting more and more nervous. Without warning, she suddenly pressed the button. Oh, is she helping matchmake for us? Oh, hello, it's me, Katybug. The door's open. Come in. Okay, if you don't mind. He does have a pupper! What? As soon as I stopped into the house, I was greeted by a massive dog. Hey, Kagura, down! Good girl. Ryuki smiled and scratched the dog behind the ears. She and I shot each other a glance. Neither of us had ever seen Ryuki so relaxed before. Chi? This must be that you mentioned before, Kagura, you say? I remember him bringing her up when he was yelling at Bob about having a tuxedo made by someone in the... yeah. Ryuki gave Kagura another scratch and smiled at me. That's right, Kagura here is the only girl I know that actually meets my highest standards of beauty. Wow, is she really that gorgeous? I've never heard Ryuki say anything like that, and yet, in this case, he was talking about a dog. So he's never met anyone he considers more beautiful than Kagura? No wonder he doesn't know what true love feels like. Kagura is the only one who understands me. Oh, Ryuki said that quietly as he led us into the house. I looked around at his decor as I followed him. The first thing I noticed were all the humidifiers placed everywhere. It's so humid in here. I guess it's to be expected from the Grand Parasite. But this place is huge, and he lives here all by himself? Of course, that's what he said back when he first filled out the Cupid profile sheet, single, living alone. I was just thinking about how well kept the whole place was. when suddenly a thought struck me. I remember Clarice telling me once how I should never go to a guy's house for myself. But this is Ryuki we're talking about. I'm sure it's fine. So about today, Ryuki suddenly shoved something into my arms. Here, put this on. What? I unfolded it and discovered it was one of the outfits from the design sketches you showed me before. Ryuki, you made this? Yeah, it's a prototype. Are you trying to prototype? Wow, it's amazing. I had no idea you could make something like this so fast. When it comes to prototyping, it's always best to make it quickly as possible. Anyway, I'll be in the room next door, so just come find me when you're done changing. Without another word, Ryuki left the room. Huh? Change? Cheap? Gee! She jumped in surprise and flew out of the house. Apparently, Kagura loud barked had scared him off. Can Kagura see Chi? I looked at Kagura, then back in the direction she had fled, then pulling down at the clothes in my hand. I'd better change before Ryuki decides to peek in to see what's taking so long. I glanced around for a good place to change. I noticed a tatami area in the back of the room. That's the Japanese straw mat flooring, right? I'd read about it in a magazine article about different restaurant scenes, but I'd never seen it for myself. My curiosity pushed me to go get changed on the tatami. Just then, I noticed something hanging on the wall. Oh. Are you done yet? Not yet. Just another second. I quickly spread the dress out. My heart was racing at just how adorable it was. Wearing cute clothes like this always feels nice. I slipped into Ryuki's dress without wasting another second. I want to know what they are. Then I called for Ryuki to come back in. He entered the room, Kagura at his side, and just stared at me. I see. Exactly what I expected. So, why did you want me? While I was thinking about my designs, I went and watched people walk up and down the street. I noticed that many of the women of Lost York are around your height and size. I see. Anyway, now that you're wearing it, do you have any thoughts? I think it's even cuter than before. I really love the Japanese patterns on the hem, but it's kind of hard to put on. Hard? How so? Well, I think with this type of dresses, it's easier when the zipper is on the side than in the back. Ah, I see. Ryuki chuckled to himself as he wrote down what I had just said. I appreciate your brutal honesty, truly. That's exactly what I'm looking for when I ask for someone's opinion. Really? A lot of people don't seem to understand when I try to express myself. Some even just run away from me for some reason. I'm sure they're just scared of emotional destruction at your hands. Oh no! I shouldn't laugh. And the other students at my fashion school never said what they really thought because of who my grandmother was. Oh. I thought I'd be different, but even here in America, her influence is strong. I guess that's how the fashion industry works. Ryuki went silent for a moment, then quickly changed the subject. Anyway, try these on next. Ryuki dropped a huge armful of clothes onto my table. What? This many? Of course, I made 7 different patterns based on the original design, and 4 color variants for each pattern. So there's 28 dresses here? Oh, and I've got some matching shoes and bags that I'd like you to try out. Huh? That's so much! Actually, this is what's left after I made some cuts, but I can't call it a woman's line if there's just one dress. Well, that's true. Feel free to start with this one. Okay. Oh no. It looks like I was going to be there for a while. At the same time, it was exciting getting to try on so many cute outfits. Ryuki had real talent. Sorry, excuse me. Without a doubt, he definitely had some odd personality quirks, but the end result was always amazing. Not many people could do what he does. I recall Aunt Minerva telling me that clothes were the embodiment of human wisdom. So I patiently went through all 28 outfits one by one. Bless her, I don't think I could handle that. I think I'd get tired. Finally, I changed back into my own clothes, then flopped back onto the couch. I appreciate your help, but if this was enough to wear you out, you really should exercise more. Ryuki placed a cup of herbal tea in front of me. The smell of chamomile wafted into my nose. The relaxing aroma eased my weary soul, but I refused to let go of my annoyance and puffed up my cheeks. It's hard getting in and out of all those clothes, and you put me in all kinds of strange poses to make your little fixes. Well, I guess you just aren't cut out to be a model. I never wanted to be a model in the first place. I took a sip of the tea and let out a slow sigh to vent my stress. Ah, that really does taste good, though. I leaned back and took a moment to relax, then I decided to. I could feel the tea spreading all through my body. Now that I'd had a chance to relax, I decided to launch right into it. You remember that girl you gave advice to, Melanie? She was hoping to get some feedback on her new outfit. I showed Ryuki the photo I took, and right away he started to frown. Why those colors? Did I tell her to choose colors like that? Huh? But wasn't purple? Purple? No, the shade I mentioned was C0A2C7. This is clearly 55295B. They're completely different colors. I can't believe how irresponsible people tend to be. It's extremely rude not to understand the proper color, don't you think? I'm sorry. Ryuki's the only person I know who can tell the difference to that degree, but I decided to say saying so would make things worse. At least she got a haircut and some proper makeup, so she's a bit more decent. I suppose she might have gone up a notch. Really? Not that now that she should be content with that. If she wants a longer skirt, she should look better in 47585C. And those boots have to go. They do not match her at all. She's better off going with something like this. Ryuki quickly sketched what he was thinking of. Could I take a picture of this? Go ahead, of course. She'd probably look even better in that. Ryuki gestures to the dress he had me try on earlier. Oh yeah, she would look great in that. I've decided to put it into the production, so I'll let you know once it's available. Of course, she doesn't have to buy it, but Ryuki mumbled quietly and rolled the pencil around between the palms of his hands. I'm sure she would absolutely love it. I mean, it really is a wonderful dress. Ryuki didn't say a word. He just silently took a sip of his tea. After a moment of awkward silence, Ryuki mumbled under his breath again. Do you mean that? There was a surprising note of sadness in his voice. Maybe Ryuki didn't have the confidence he needed to start a brand new line of women's clothes. But I do mean it. It's incredibly beautiful. Ryuki was probably just being as tough on himself as he always was, but I nodded at him with the confidence I could muster. I really do. I feel so amazing wearing it. I couldn't stop looking at myself in the mirror. I even thought how nice it would be to go out and walk around and sitting in it. I wouldn't feel like that if I didn't love it. I see. I guess I'll just have to take your word for it. Ryuki smiled, then pulled out a spray bottle and gave himself a moisturizing mist. His skin was as soft as ever, but somehow the expression he was making showed its own kind of wear and tear. Not worn out exactly, more like just very, very sleepy. His eyes were sunken a bit, and he sprayed the mist right into his face, as if trying to keep himself awake. Hey, are you okay? What do you mean? Well, you look really tired. Did you get enough sleep last night? Huh? No, I'm fine. I know how important beauty sleep is, so I get exactly as much sleep as I need, just like anyone. Remember him saying something similar about beauty sleep back at the Parasite house too. Not sleepy, not tired, nothing like that. Anyway, I need to go back and cut the pattern for the design I just updated. Wait, you cut all the patterns yourself too? For my prototypes, yes. My assistants are mostly useless for that, so it's faster if I do it myself. I do have factories and my assistants to help with the sewing, but if we're short on time, then I'll help with that too. What? I didn't know that. So you design your clothes and cut the shapes and patterns and manage the stores yourself? You're really something else. It isn't anything special. Ryuki seemed to be pouting a bit as he put his elbows on the table and dropped his head in his hands. He glanced down at Kagura. Plenty of people who went to my school have their own brand, you know. You can find plenty of designers here just like me. I doubt there are that many people in Lost York who started their own brand and opened a boutique at 19. So it's not that this is uncharted territory, you know. Actually, my father is from Lost York. Huh? Really? I never told you? My mother is Japanese, but my father is American. That's why so many people pestered me back in Japan. Huh? What do you mean pestered you? I never really fit in there. They couldn't get over the fact that I was mixed race. So I moved here. Best decision I ever made. And of course, my sister kept bugging me that I need to learn how to love is all about. Love? The Cupid in me reacted to the word, and I looked up at him suddenly. Ryuki looked back, confused. But is love really that great? You've seen lots of couples as an advisor, right? Most of them couldn't recognize beauty to save their lives. Having their wedding in that lame hall of yours, for example. Did he just call my company's wedding hall lame? Designers are slaves to appearances, but those seminars you made me go to focus on putting love in front of everything. Huh? Ryuki was actually paying attention? He was always focused on his skincare routine. I just assumed he wasn't listening. But if I put love first, then I can't do my job, and I've still never met anyone who meets my standards of beauty, of course. Why would I bother dating someone who can't match up? Am I supposed to just toss my personal pride out the window? I seriously don't get it, but when I try to explain all that to my sister, she just says I'm being immature. She says that pursuit of beauty is in the name of happiness makes no sense. But to me, that makes no sense. Maybe she just wants you to take a bit of a wider perspective on things? So what, falling in love will widen my perspective? If anything, I feel like that would limit my vision even more. People who are in love get angry easily. They cry all the time. They let their emotions control them. Well, he's not wrong to a certain degree. I mean, they do say that love is blind. Someone needs to explain to me where my thinking is wrong. As far as I can tell, love is nothing but a hindrance. But my sister is a genius. She's the most talented member of my family, so I want to understand what she's trying to tell me. She's just so fickle. One minute she's embroidering the Ten Commandments, the next she's off doing who knows what. I followed Riku's gaze. He was staring at the same document I've noticed earlier. Oh yeah, I noticed that before. What exactly is the 10 Commandments? It's a list of rules my grandmother came up with when she first founded the TCN brand. I followed them my entire life. Huh? So your family has a set of rules? I stood up to take a closer look. As I read through each rule one by one, I couldn't hide my surprise at how absurd they were. Number 1, you will weigh yourself every day. Number 2, you will check for new wrinkles each day and carefully note their location. Number 3, you will keep your skin hydration between 30 and 50% and always carry face mist with you. What the? These are the rules your family follows? This is like something you find at a modeling agency or like a super serious actor studio. Exactly, and everyone in my family follows these rules to a T. But they're all pretty natural, aren't they? Natural? Doesn't it bother you when your skin dries out and lacks the moisture it needs? Not really, unless it's a really drastic situation. Sure, I can tell the humidity drops or when my room feels dry, but that's about it. To think that these are actual rules they have to follow is kind of weird. No, not just weird, actually totally extreme. I've meant to ask before, but I assume your grandma must be a pretty strict, huh? That's hard to say. I can't say I've ever seen her act strict before, exactly. But I guess you could be right. I've seen her tear apart outfits that didn't meet her standards. What? She cares about quality more than anything else, which makes sense considering she's a professional. As a kid, I saw my grandmother drive plenty of designers and tailors to tears, which means they weren't cut out for it. Ryuki just kept spraying himself with the mist. You want some? Oh, sure, I guess. At least he asked this time. Before I finished nodding, he already hit me with the spray. I was thankful for the moisture, but it was a bit much. Family rules. I never would have guessed that moisturizing spray of his was part of some weird family rule system. Of course, it's also possible that he just does it because he actually wants to. And you've never found it hard to follow these rules? Not at all. After all, they're a mandatory action for any member of the family. Besides, they only cover the basics. These are just the basics? I couldn't help but think that this was all serious way too much. like in my case, if there was a rule that I had to take 5,000 people to fall in love every day, I'd be sick of it after a week. You know, if you ask me, I think you can afford to loosen up a little bit. And that's why your beauty grade is still stuck at 60. I'm sorry. If anything, considering the value of his name, I don't think I'm doing enough. Is it really that important to uphold your family name? This family goes all the way back to the Edo period, when we were a family vendor for fine kimono. Huh? Really? I thought back to my college history classes and recalled that Edo period ended about 200 years ago. My grandmother established the brand, but my family history goes back much further, so we have the highest standards. Which is why... So I've always been told I need to act like a proper every time I was a kid. I see. And I was told to be picky about who I associate with. That they said those without a sense of beauty would just drag me down. What? Oh, dang. Listen, this is commonly understood measures of value within family. Just like with the grades in school, there are also grades for faces. That's why he said that! I thought about what happened when Ryuki and I first met. I remember that he mentioned something about how... But my sister is all over the place. She can go drinking with a Sillywood starlet Friday night, then go fishing the next morning. Fishing? The salty ocean air might damage her hair and skin, but she's used to it for inspiration and comes up with a brand new style for makeup. Huh? Makeup? Yeah, she's a makeup artist. She mostly works with actors and actresses, but she's also a genius artist when it comes to design. But when given the chance, she refused to take over the company, the brand. And on top of that, she married some 3A, 5B, 5-2 guy she met through your Cupid Corporation. A quick search revealed was a color known as insect green. My grandmother always regretted that my mother didn't take over the brand, and I'm sure she'll feel the same way about my sister. Which is why I want to do everything I can for the family, but Ryuki stopped and sat to think. Finally, he just shook his head. But nothing I do ever satisfied her. None of my designs have ever passed her judgment. He clasped his hands together tightly and looked at the 10 Commandments. He shook his head one more time, then looked back at his designs. Anyway, in any case, I have to do everything I can to become a better designer, but who knows where the answer may lie. I've never made women's clothes before, so I have no idea what people will think, but I'll do whatever it takes to make sure they sell. Well, I'll be rooting for you. For some reason, Ryuki just looked at me as if I were some alien artifact. You really never get angry, do you? Huh? Most people who spend any amount of time with me end up getting frustrated or annoyed and never come near me again. He seemed honestly confused. He generally didn't understand why I didn't get mad at him. Which means he also doesn't understand what it is about him that makes people mad in the first place. Besides, maybe, I'm sure it's because he tears everyone to pieces, but in his mind he's just telling the honest truth. His personality really has put him in a kind of social bind. Most people give me a strange look when I talk about colors. You don't see colors the way I do, but you didn't contradict me either. Why not? To be honest, I can't say I ever thought the things you said were all that strange. The truth is, I have my own unique ways of seeing colors. Of course, that comes from my powers as Cupid, and I can't see them without whipping out my bow and arrow. Plus, I guess I just wanted to understand how the world looks through your eyes. How the world looks? You know what it's like to see people and words and stuff as different colors? Color me curious, you might say. Hee. But it must be pretty exhausting, right? Doesn't it wear you out to see all those different colors all the time? Not really. I mean, I just avoid seeing things that I don't want to see. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot that Ryuki was able to actually remove people with a low grade from his vision. He stared at me for a moment, then stood up from the couch. Well, break time is over. I need to make some alterations to dress. If you want, you can rest a bit longer in my oxygen capsule. Oxygen capsule? I turned to see Ryuki pointing and noticed some kind of massive machine. Hey, wait, is that the thing you brought with the Parasite house? Indeed, it's very relaxing inside, and it does wonders for your skin. I highly recommend it. You've read about how a lot of Sillywood celebrities use the same kind of thing. I also vaguely recall a few of our own members mentioning they had oxygen capsules for their own, which meant that his attention to beauty was at least on par with any good model or actor out there. Truly amazing. Beyond that, I wondered how the thing actually worked. I've never been inside one, so my curiosity started to build up. You really don't mind if I give it a try? Be my guest. I'll work on the dress while you're inside, and I want you to try it on again once I'm done. Yes, sir. Ryuki showed me how to operate the machine, and I cautiously crawled inside. No, so this is what it's like on the inside. Neat. Ooh. I could see Ryuki working on the dress through the window. It built up in the machine. He really does work hard on everything he does. I was soon so lost in thought, and before I knew it, I had drifted away into slumber. Aww. An hour later, I stepped out from the oxygen capsule, greeted by a flurry of outfits ready for me to try on. I tested out one after another and tried my best time I left around to arrive home. It was well past 8 o'clock at night. Oof! Cash coordination with happiness. Okay, and that will end that episode of Ryuki's Route Part 2. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it, and I had a lot of fun. I hope you're having as much fun as I'm having. As always, I will see you in the next episode, and remember to eat some food, get some sleep, and drink some water, because you are important, and so is your health. See you next time. Bye-bye!